Welcome to the 6th Annual Beacon Awards. Shore Publishing started the Beacon Awards in 2012 as a way to shine a light on some of the Shoreline's most stellar advocates and volunteers. Each year, we've asked our readers to nominate those neighbors who best embody the spirit of the community. Over these past 6 years, we've received hundreds of nominations, and from that deep pool of inspiring stories, we've selected these 15 exceptional citizens who selflessly step up to fulfill the Shoreline community's promise as a place of opportunity, well-being, and safety for all. Let's meet your 2018 winners. Elizabeth Abernathy, Guilford.
One of the organizations is Guilford Day, Developmental Assets for Youth. I am the youth chair for that. So we do a lot of different organizational events where we try to eliminate teen substance and alcohol abuse and use. We also try to make it just a better living environment for youth and try to make it so they can make the right decisions. SAD is a club here at the high school. It's Students Against Destructive Decisions, and that's another club or organization that we work with to eliminate substance abuse. I am a peer minister through St. George. We help the homeless men that stay at our church every January for a week. Every year now I collect items, food, non-perishable food, and then we make something called blessing bags. So we send that off with them, so when they leave they do have some of the stuff that we take for granted. And then it's just become a thing that I do every year now, and I've also started to get some of the confirmation classes involved in it.
Judith Barron, Branford.
In softball, I landed primarily because father coached me when I was younger. So I started off as an assistant coach. Next thing I knew, I became the fundraiser. Next thing I knew, I became the treasurer. The president stepped down and I became the president. And I still do the treasury and I still do the fundraising. And this year I assistant coached again. My youngest wanted to get involved in cheer and she likes to dance. Yeah. So I went to this family fun day and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, you think you might want to coach?" And I was like, don't know how, but sure, because I don't say no. I'm more than willing to lend a hand. And we've gone from 60 girls last year to 90 girls this season. We were one of the first recreation cheerleading for Branford anyway to see a team go all the way to nationals. And they placed 7th out of 14 in nationals, which was phenomenal. And it requires a lot of fundraising. We got them all new uniforms. We fundraised a lot to be able to get all those girls some new uniforms, and they're looking great. They're having fun. It's active. It's a great healthy sport for these kids to be participating in, and they love it. So I'm there. I will say that community is a great thing, so you can get creative and intertwine everything together. So my softball girls, my cheerleading girls, they all come and volunteer at the community dining room. It's kind of a requirement.
Nelson Bernabucci, Branford.
I'm a 93-year-old World War II veteran. I have been volunteering for 92 years. It is better to be of service to others than to be served. The Branford Community Dining Room, the Branford Rotary Club, ringing the bell at the Salvation Army Christmas time, serving lunch to the senior citizens of Branford. I've been volunteering, as I say, because of the fact that I've been blessed, I have been healthy, and I've always felt that if I could help someone, I'm there for that person. It makes us feel great that we're able to help some people who are hungry, who don't have the chance to get the food that they desire. This is what it's all about. I love to be able to be of service.
Amelia Beeson, Chester.
I think my favorite thing is Kirtland Commons, which is a housing authority for elders or low-income elders. We usually serve dinner for them, and we walk around with platters, and there's usually different themes. There's Halloween and Christmas and Valentine's Day. 2 months ago there was senior prom, which was really fun, so y'all got to dress up in prom clothes and stuff. So there's buddy basketball and buddy baseball, and it's where you just help out kids who are disabled in some way, and you just help them play sports like basketball and baseball, and there's also buddy track. My friend actually started it, but she invited me to join it, It was called Mission Smiley, and it was when we took smiley faces and we wrote like positive quotes on the back, and we hid them around the school in like lockers or like on bulletin boards in the classrooms, anywhere, and people would just find them and I guess like pass them on. So I do the soup kitchen. I do that with my family actually. We go and do that once a month, and we just serve dinner to less fortunate people. They're always really happy about it, and it's different every time.
Melissa Carney, Deep River.
So High Hopes is basically an organization that teaches people with disabilities how to ride. I started riding with them when I was 4. I lost my sight to retinoblastoma, which is a type of cancer, when I was 2 years old, and my parents believed that I was still capable of doing anything that a sighted person would have been able to. So we started thinking, what if I put on public demonstrations so that other people could see what was possible for a blind horseback rider? So I started doing demonstrations at High Hopes. I started doing demonstrations at UConn Storrs campus. So I began working at IBM this summer in Boston. I had the chance to make presentations regarding accessibility and inclusion in the workplace, how to prevent discriminatory behaviors. I attended my first state convention in Massachusetts, and I fell in love with the community. I started thinking about starting a student division in the state of Connecticut. I wanted to help people who used to be in my shoes find that strength within themselves to overcome access barriers. At the end of my first semester of junior year, I went to the Connecticut State Convention, and I saw so many young people think they needed a leader, they needed a community to find, to feel like they belonged to. That furthered my desire to build a student division. So after that, I started inquiring about how to make that happen. The president of the National Association of Blind Students invited me to a student leadership seminar. And that was when I learned how to write a constitution for the student division, how to be a leader, how to increase outreach, legislative, and fundraising efforts. They kind of all made a joint decision. They're like, okay, Melissa needs to be president. Like she really inspired us. She got this division off the ground.
Jerry Giordano, North Haven.
I've been in the garden club for 42 plus years and have worked every position that it's possible to be in, every committee. I've served as president for a total of 8 years, once a 3-year term and another time a 5-year term. We do the pots around town. We do memorial gardens. We take care of entrances to the schools. We have the cultural center, and we have a colonial garden, an herb garden. And the members upkeep everything. Now I'm on the Conservation Commission at North Haven. We do Earth Day. I'm also in the Federated Garden Club. They're in charge of all the garden clubs in Connecticut, and I'm on the Federated Board.
Jean Kelly, Branford.
Brian was diagnosed with this disease in 1995, so he was 6, turning 7 in the hospital that summer. When Brian was approaching 21 in adulthood, we wanted to do something in his honor, and so my husband and I founded Brian's Hope. Our mission is to stop the progression of adrenoleukodystrophy, ALD, and we are broadening the awareness of adrenoleukodystrophy. We are promoting newborn screening nationwide. We were able to pass a bill adding ALD to our state's newborn screening panel. And we were blessed with the sponsorship of Senator Fasano and our other Shoreline reps in searching the best cause, the best place to send the money to fight this disease. I found the Mylan Project. So for many years, I was on the board of the Mylan Project, which I still am. Hammerfest is a wonderful sprint triathlon. It takes place at the Owenigo with a half-mile swim. Racers run up to the parking lot. They get on their bike and do 2 7-mile loops and return to the Owenigo, drop off their bikes, and head out for a 3.5-mile run in Posson Park.
Thomas Lindner, Deep River.
Well, I've actually been a member of the Y since, I guess, 1986, so I've been a 32-year member there. I did serve on their board of directors on 2 different stints. Just got off the Y board probably a couple years ago. The one thing that is really close to my heart is they have this Hope is Power. It's a spin-a-thon that they've had for 5 years. I've been involved in that program, and I've been the top fundraiser for that through donations actually from friends, relatives, bank employees. So over the last 4 years, I've raised about $12,500 for that. I joined Rotary in 1978. I'm the longest serving Rotarian in my club, Deep River Club. So I was treasurer for many years, and then they asked me if I would run for president. I'd be president, so I did that for 2 terms. And then I received the Paul Harris Fellow, which is the highest award a Rotarian can receive. I'm involved with my church, and I was a deacon. I've been a deacon. I'm on the Men's Outdoor Ministries. I'm a church delegate. I lay read sometimes. I usher. I do collections. I count our offering some weeks.
Catherine Mathis, Westbrook.
In about 1970, we started having foster children because I wanted a big family. We had 13 foster children along the way, 1 or 2 at a time. And then also we got involved with the exchange student program, and we had 28 exchange students who lived with us for 1 year each. I work with the Terrace Theater, connected to the Goodspeed. I work at the Iverton Theater, and then I work here at the Kate. We've been here at the Kate for 10 years. With Literacy Volunteers, I started off as a tutor, helping people learn to do better in English. Literacy Volunteers then evolved into me training tutors. And so what I do for them is twice a year we run sessions where we teach people how to teach other people. I'm the local coordinator for the AARP Tax Prep program. The other thing I do with AARP is Safe Driver program for seniors. The Shoreline Food Pantry. We sort groceries on Thursdays, and then on Saturday morning at the Old Lyme Congregational Church, we serve breakfast to about 150 people. One of the things I do is teach CPR first aid for American Red Cross. Warm the children, people donate money, and then there are those of us who are called shoppers. That happens to be the function I do. But we take them to the store and help them have brand new clothes. We run a program called Tree of Life. And what we do there is travel in Israel and Palestine and work with peace organizations that are trying to build peace in that area.
Toby Mizell, Guilford.
I have been running a separation and divorce support group at the Women and Family Life Center, and I also do some consulting with them on other programs. Not only do they run that support group, but they also have support groups for teenage girls, for mothers. They have financial and legal consultation for free for women, and a fabulous referral service for people that need resources. I sit on the ABC board, and Guilford ABC stands for A Better Chance, and I'm involved with scholar selection. I also interface with the resident director and the assistant resident director, and I mentor one of the scholars, and I stay with her through all 4 years. Too, I'm involved on the water committee for Guilford because we have worked really hard to bring clean water to 3 communities in Guilford, and that has actually been a successful effort and is just going to get off the ground very soon in the next few months.
Ed Pellegrino, Madison.
Well, the first organization, and I've been a member for 40 years, is Walter Camp Football Foundation, based in New Haven, which is an organization that raises money for children's charities, but perpetuates the name of Walter Camp, who was the father of American football. I was president in 1995-96, and still active in the organization as past president and board member. Just recently, past president of the Madison Chamber of Commerce, was president for 2 years. The term just ended. I'm also a member of the Madison Economic Development Commission and active member of the Madison Rotary Club, having served as president 3 or 4 years ago. We're active throughout the year, raising money for a number of events, whether it's the library or if it's building wells for Uganda. All good organizations. I like being in on the ground floor of what's happening around town and what could possibly happen.
Wayne Sanford, East Haven.
I was a Cub Scout leader, and I took 9 boys from what they call Tiger Cubs, which is the year before Cub Scouts. I took them from Tiger Cubs to Eagle Scouts. I actually volunteered at St. Clair's Church, and it's in East Haven. I was on the parish council. I was on the finance committee. In 1992, I was ordained as a Catholic deacon. I also volunteer at the East Haven Food Pantry. I'm currently the president of the Shoreline Trolley Museum. Here at the museum, some of the accomplishments that I'm very proud of as president, the most important thing is that the entire trolley yard was flooded in Irene and a year later in Sandy. The next day, 3 cars operated because the other 50 cars were, the motors, which are underneath the trolleys, were inundated with salt water. So I applied for a FEMA award, which we won. So we're within 20 cars of being redone where we were before the storm struck. And we had a piece, we call it the island. It was an area where the property was very high. We raised $2.2 million, and we built 2 12,000 square foot buildings. So each building holds 24 cars. So 48 cars now sit out of the floodplain.
John Seville, Guilford.
I just remember going to soup kitchens. You know, I remember that was a really, with our folks, yeah. And it was always kind of like, you know, wow, we do have it pretty good. And I'm in a position, thank goodness, being a radio personality, where I can donate my time. Even if I can't be there personally, I can mention it on the radio station. And I can have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people hear it. And now with the iHeartRadio app, they can hear it all over the country. Benstock, which is coming up, the Comedy for Cancer. There's a lot of autism benefits that I do as well. St. Jude, recently cystic fibrosis. So when people ask, John, can you help me? If I can't be there, I'll at least give you a mention on the radio. You know, people complain, it's human nature to complain a lot, but we have it so good. You know, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but, you know, where I am right now. It's been this area, in this country, in the shoreline. I'm just very, very blessed.
Carol Stewart, Branford.
My role right now is I'm the president of Feed Branford Kids. Feed Branford Kids was started about 5 years ago by my cousin Joanne Pantani, who passed away earlier this year. And she got the idea, she used to do mission trips every summer. So she got the idea, going down south, they had what they called the Magic Bus, which would go around from house to house delivering food to kids on the weekend. So she came back and decided to try something similar. She started with Feed Branford Kids. It took about 2 years to get off the ground. But she initiated the help of Susan Barnes and Pat Andriole and Wendy Coles, and they started the very first year with 7 backpacks. And the intent is to provide kids with food on the weekends. It's during the school year only, not the summers. We average 200 a week. So we went from 7 to 200. If you look at the statistics put out by UConn and other government agencies, the opportunity in Branford is for 800 kids. We're hoping to have a partnership with the high school and the middle school. Right now we're in the elementary schools and pre-K.
June Vigliato, Killingworth.
We do a lot of bike runs. Some of them are actually out of here, where we start here and end here, and some just stop here. We're just a stop, so you know. So we have plenty of those too that we support. That do other places. We'll be doing it for whatever, Make-A-Wish, whatever. We'll be one of the stops. You know, so that's kind of a partial way of supporting it. But we do our own 2 or 3 here out of our own. I think when I realized that this was everybody wants to help. At least in here, the people that come in here are awesome. And everybody wants to help, but they just don't know where to go. You know, so I kind of turned into the middleman, and then I know a guy in New Haven who used to be homeless, and he does all this homeless work, so he guides me where to go and where to bring stuff. I mean, we'll just go, I'll open up the back of my thing and take out winter coats and blankets, and, you know, we do that too. We bring food, you know, down to the green in New Haven, and we make little bags for the homeless people, you know, like shampoos and things like that. We make those. We make little snack bags for them, and I just have a group of friends, and I just ask them, and they come help me.
We've heard what these honorees do for the community. Now let's learn what that service does for them.
As far as I'm concerned, volunteering makes my life better in so many ways that it's just fantastic. And when you volunteer, then you're affecting all kinds of people in terms of how they see whatever's going on. They get a chance to sample your values, your ideas, and you certainly get to sample theirs.
Volunteering in certain aspects is not for everyone. You have to find what you like to do. People have like a negative connotation towards volunteering, like, oh, I have to go volunteer today, or I have to go do community service. If you find something that you like and that you're very passionate about, you'll love it. You will.
I think doing good and helping other people is contagious. And when one person starts it, it grows, and all of a sudden you have other things happening.
Well, I guess it's just a really fulfilling experience. It like really makes you understand how nice people are, I guess, and how grateful everyone is, and it kind of teaches me to be more grateful for what I have.
It's fulfilling. It's a wonderful thing to be able to provide for individuals in your community in so many different aspects, and I'm so blessed to wake up every morning and enjoy what I do.
I feel obligated. I feel absolutely obligated to help people, to be that person who says, you can do better for yourself. You're not rising to your full potential. And I love bringing out the best in people, showing them things that they might have not known that they were capable of or that they could accomplish.
I would just say that it is amazing that on the board that I sit on, the ABC board, and this organization, the Women and Family Life Center, that people are just so dedicated and have such a passion and are really willing to put in the time.
I am truly blessed. It's an honor to be Brian's mother, and I have a wonderful husband and a wonderful family, and we are blessed with friends who embrace us and Brian and include us in so many activities. It's wonderful.
And if you can get out there and just spend a little bit, even a half hour, an hour, I think even sometimes more important, you always want to donate to causes, but even if you don't have money to donate, just get out there and volunteer for a half hour. Get out there and do it for an hour. It's amazing the friendships you'll make, how it make you feel, but just to see the smiles on people's faces when they look at you and just say, thank you for helping. It's like, oh, you know you're doing something good. You're leaving a legacy.
I would just like to thank, my mom, obviously, and my family, my brothers, and then also just everyone who's like the organizations, like everyone at Guilford Day, everyone at Guilford Youth and Family Services, my mentors at Yale, all of those people.
A dear friend of mine, Jackie St. Peter, one last year, and Susan McDevitt we had mentioned, and I'm so blessed, so honored.
As far as here, my friends, I have so many friends that help me. I don't want to leave anybody out, but that's all I have to do is ask, and they help. They're all great. They bring their trucks, they let me use their trucks, their trailers, everything. It's good. So I have the help. Why not do it, right? It's just a matter of doing, organizing a little bit and your time.
But first of all, I want to thank my parents. They raised me to be selfless. They raised me to believe that, yes, there are difficulties that I face in life, but there's always going to be someone who is less fortunate than I am.
Please thank the person who recommended me for this award. And second, I want to thank also the sponsors who made this program available.
I used to act in a former life, and I just remember coming into an audition once and didn't realize that I was expected to sing a song, and the only one that I could come up with at the time was Rubber Ducky, so that's what I auditioned with, and it worked. So.
I know. You're good. You're a good interviewer. You have a nice laugh.
Am I? It's nervous laugh.
No, it was good. It came across good.
Did it?
Nice and calm. Great. Anything I missed? Do you have anything?
Was I leaning forward too much? I was trying to lean back.
Perfect.
Okay.
You look good to me.
Oh, okay.
I know. I always feel like I'm typing.
They walk by the window making fun of me.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to flub this whole thing right now.
Economic development.
Well, I hope you keep some of the stuff that isn't just I do blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. We like the spicy stuff, right? That's it.
So if people are looking for a DJ, we still have availability. But cheap plug, right?
Here we go.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, you can pause. Okay, thanks. Okay.
I guess I should have thought about this ahead of time.
Oh, no worries. That's what I did. We got lots of time. We don't even want to go back to our office. Like a minute or two. So it's really.
Oh, because I'm a talker.
And it's basically.
A minute? I need like 20. Woo! All right, good luck.
All right.